communicating telepathically across the world with other loved ones. So we're going to definitely be a whole new different species after the solar flash. But there has to be at least 48 to 76 hours of rest in order to acclimate to the new body.
Okay. And then, all right, I'll just ask this one. Will the result of the solar flash immediately transport us to New Earth, or will it take a while? You just answered that. Will it happen what will happen if we're driving or in airplanes or that kind of thing? How does that work?
I think for the most part, we're gonna. If you're on an airplane or in a car, you're definitely gonna see like the entire sky become luminous.
Yeah.
At which point, I think, people are going to be suspended in time, where all of a sudden everything's going to stop. Like if time's going to stop, and then people are going to be able to see things for what they really are. In other words, the veil of forgetfulness, the veil that separates our dimension from the higher dimensions, is going to be fully lifted. And then people are going to see the interconnectivity of everything. And then when they see that, all of a sudden they're going to go back into reality, but it's going to be a little bit different. They're still going to be driving the car, but they're just going to be more aware. They're still going to be on an airplane or on a train, but things are going to be so much different. Things are going to be all the way different.
Yes. Awesome. So, on to health, ascension health. What can we do now to prepare our bodies so that we can integrate and acclimate to that more effectively? How can we detox, or special foods? If you have any suggestions.
Yes. Try to only give yourself organic, raw, living foods. Nothing with chemicals, pesticides, or hormones. Stay away from all genetically modified foods. Stay away from sugar, starch, stuff like that. Toxins that come from alcohol and drugs. If you have an issue with alcoholism, or if you have an issue with tobacco or any sort of drug, this is actually the time to really just release all that, because your body needs to be purified.
Yes.
Depending on how purified your body becomes, you will be able to hold more light, because the solar flash is about absorbing all this new light energy, photonic gamma ray frequencies that are going to be, feeding our cells at the cellular level. And so if you have toxins in your body, if you have heavy metals, it's going to be very hard for all that energy to be absorbed by your cellular structure. So it's best to keep yourself clean, drink tons of water, eat healthy, organic, living foods, exercise as much as you can.
Like the keto diet, right?
Keto, well, there's different types of diets, but yeah, I mean,
nothing processed. Okay.
Yeah, nothing processed. Your body's a living temple, so make sure you feed it optimal fuel.
Okay, and not to go negative, but asking just about for those that have not had their energetic implants removed yet through whatever means, meditations or upgrades or any of that kind of thing, will that be eliminated automatically when these changes take place? Or what can they do before that happens to help them facilitate their ascension?
Well, the energetic implants have already been removed for humanity.
Great.
Yeah, in order to allow the other 10 strands of DNA to rebundle and come online.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right, about family. I have a question here. Our family that we are related to now through DNA and genetics, how far up in the dimensions do they still play a role in our lives, like our present lives? Because we become one with everything the higher that we go. So where does our family play a role in our lives the higher we ascend? How does that work?
Well, depending on their soul contract and where they are in their level of awakening and consciousness, even if you go into a higher dimension and say a cousin or a nephew or a niece goes into a lower dimension, you're still going to be able to pop into that lower dimension at will. The only difference is that they won't be able to pop into your dimension. So, they're still going to be there, and they're just going to be ascending in increments at a time, whereas the old souls that are down here, the celestials in human form, many of them are going to go beyond the 5th dimension and up all the way to the 12th. So there's going to be a 12-dimensional, now we're entering the 13th dimension. So there's going to be a 13-dimensional coexistence of different Earths. We're going to have Terra Earth in dimensions 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
We're going to have Gaia Earth in 7, 8, and 9. And Arimathena, which was the original Lyra Avion, 10, 11, and 12, before it was destroyed by the Draco during the First Galactic War, which I cover in detail in my book. And then finally Sophia in dimensions 13, 14, and 15. So we're going to have those, all dimensional spheres all coexisting at the same time. Yeah.
I'm so glad you explained that, because lately I've been seeing everything in 15s. Like I could see 15 different timelines at once, and they're asking me questions. And I'm like, all right, I got to see where you are. So thank you. That really, now that explains it.
The word Arimathena and Aurora, are they one and the same Earth planet in 10th, 11th, and 12th dimension, or you mentioned it's the planet, and there's some confusion, I guess I have, Stargates going from the 10th, 11th, and 12th from here. I thought the Stargate was called Arimathena, but
it's the Stargates are called the Stargates of Amenti, and this planet has Amenti. So the Stargates of Amenti connect all the way actually now to Sophia. Before I used to just connect to Arimathena, but because the Earth is getting ready to embody her higher self, which is the spirit of Sophia, the great mother of all, it's going to be plugged into all 15-dimensional frequencies.
Okay. 15.
I know, it explains so much. I'm so thankful for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's get into some super abilities here. So we have a question. I'd like to ask if we will be able to fly physically in the 5D world. I've always known since I was 4 years old that I should be able to fly and teleport around, and felt deeply saddened to be here without my ability.
Absolutely, yes. That's the beauty of being restored back into a fifth-dimensional being, is that all these superhuman abilities are going to be coming back to us. And it's not about trying to figure out how to get to that. It's about just going within and remembering, because all that information is stored within our cellular data.
Okay. And so you said fifth dimensional. Does that apply to the, like, let's say 60 or higher? How does that, the super soul, the
higher you
soul,
go, right, the higher you go in dimensions, the more abilities you're going to have. So, like, say, for instance, a being that's coming from the 10, 11, and 12 dimensions would appear to be even more powerful than a being that's coming from the 7th, 8th, or 9th dimension, and so on and so forth. The most powerful beings in our multiverse are known as the rishis, which are cosmic entities, those that have reunited with everything that is beyond the multiverse. They exist in 13, 14, and 15. So, to give you an example of what a cosmic rishi is Metatron. Metatron, the archangel, he's considered a cosmic being.
Yes, it's very clear. Okay. About the animals, could you let us know? We have animals. Where are they from? What will happen to them during these changes? Will we see them again in the form we knew them?
Even the animals are ascending. So yes, they're just going to be at a higher level of intelligence, where people and animals are actually going to have full-blown telepathic conversations in the fifth dimensional Earth.
I was just saying that.
Yeah, the animals are coming with us.
Good.
Didn't Mary, you had a vision yesterday? Oh,
yeah.
The live list. The whole
yeah.
Was it zoo? Or somewhere? Did you see that? Did you say that, or was it one of your?
Not a Zoom. It's just we're all going to telepath, like
zoo.
Zoo.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Like we're all going to talk to each other. It's going to be great.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And I swear my cat already does it, so we're good.
Already ahead.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay. The bifurcation split timeline. So we have a few questions. So I'm just going to ask you one. After we go to 5D, will we lose memory of anyone who chose to go to the other negative AI timelines? As advanced beings, why does this occur? Would we maintain our ability to read the Akashic records, such as Dolores Cannon's work? That's like a bunch of.
That's like 4 questions. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. All right.
Whatever you want to respond to. It's like 3 different questions in one.
Can you ask the first question?
Okay, first part of it. After we go to 5D, will we lose the memory of anyone who chose the negative AI timeline? Will we lose the memory of that relationship?
The AI, yes. Once we go into 5D, we're no longer going to be affected by the AI timeline, although we are going to be aware of it.
And our relatives that, or family or friends that might have decided to go there, will we,
Well, we're going to be like superheroes as we pop into their realm. We're going to be the ones that are going to be.
Yes.
Finish that thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the future, there's going to be two types of human 3.0. There's going to be a timeline where it's just angelic humanoids, fifth dimensional reality, no AI. There's going to be a false matrix, AI matrix, time loop, artificial intelligence that's going to be only inhabited by cyborgs. And then there's going to be an in-between where the people that are in the middle of that are going to be protected by those that are coming in from the fifth dimension. So in that type of reality, we're going to have, angelic humans or humans with supernatural abilities. And then we're also going to have cyborgs and AIs and everything in between.
Right.
Boy,
right.
That sounds exciting. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Buckle up. It's not just... All right. So,
and then I know you heard this question on another interview recently, but like some people are like, are we there yet? When are we going to get there? What's it looking like?
Some of us are already there consciously because, first we ascend through our mind. Once we do that, our body follows. So for the collective, it's a matter of hitting that critical mass, period, where I think it takes about 10% of the population to be there mentally in order to, cause the shift for everyone else to be in a fifth dimensional unity consciousness reality. And then, of course, with the, signaling of the solar flash, our bodies are going to be transforming. But I think it's a two-way process. The solar flash, because our sun is intelligent, is waiting for enough of us to be there mentally. Once enough of us are there mentally, that's when the sun is going to transform. That's when it's going to release the final signal to transform us into this new physical reality.
Okay. Someone had a question about what the percentage is now of the awareness?
I think it's at 9.7%. It's almost there. It's a little bit.
Yeah.
We're like this close. I'm like, great.
It could happen at the end of summer, beginning of fall. Sometime before the year is over. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then,
I keep getting September. They keep telling me September, and I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Sort of like sliding around.
I know.
So the solar flash in 4D and 5D, and the new. Can you clarify how the new monetary system will function in 4D? I think it was 4D that you said. It would be the only 4D thing. It wouldn't be happening in 5D because they're beyond money in 5D or that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so then they want to know, when would that new system kick in, before or after the solar flash?
I think it's going to happen all at the same time. Yeah. I think the solar flash is going to mark the end of the dark or the dark age and the beginning of the golden age, which is going to be seen as a reset by the alliance, the White Hats, implementing a system that's workable for everyone.
Right.
Yes.
Like a reboot.
A reboot.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, baby angels. So this is where this top couple from them. Can you please give a brief summary of Galactic Order? And I know you cover this in your book, and you don't have to get into too much detail, but only as it relates to the dimensions. Oh, yeah, they're angel-centric.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay. So can you give a summary of the Galactic Order, I guess, in this in this whole universe, the 12 dimensions, in relation to the angelic hierarchy, which I understand they have 9 orders of angels. Mm-hmm. Where do they fit into the cosmological structure?
Those are the non-incarnates. Those are the ones that are helping create or source from the non-physical incarnation state in order to assist those that decided to incarnate. So we have those that are participating, which are in embodiment, on different levels of reality, and then we have those that are non-incarnated, that are just there on the sidelines, just overseeing and protecting those that did incarnate. So, we could perceive the Galactics as angels because anything beyond the fifth dimensional level of reality to us is angelic. We see them. The higher we go in dimensions, the more angelic we become, the less dense, the more light. The lower we go in dimensions, the more denser and physical we become. And I describe that in my book as well. I talk about how, technically all matter is just a vibrational frequency of the same light energy spectrum vibrating at different rates. So the higher you go, the more subtle and the more immortal matter becomes, and the lesser you go, the more gross, and dense matter becomes. As to why it feels so solid in this dimension. But physicality exists all the way to the 12th dimension. Beyond that, it's just pure energy. And go ahead. Okay. So the spiritual hierarchy or celestial administration exist on every level of reality. Within galactic systems, we have what we called the councils of light that is overseen by the Council of 12. Well, now it's going to be the Council of 13 because we're moving into the 13th cycle. The Council of 12 has always operated from the center of every galaxy where the Guardians reside. And they are at the head of all, Federation councils and high Federation councils. So in our galaxy, Sirius is high council of our Federation, but every galaxy has one. Now, above the Federation, we have different councils or different orders, and this is where the angels come into play, because the angels exist beyond the 11th dimension, obviously.
Yes.
And so what we have is, we have the Council of 12, we have the Council of 9, we have the Council of 5, and these are different celestial administrations that are governing the different realms. The highest level of councils are known as the Order of the Gold, or the
Emerald.
The Emerald is the third level of council. That's also known as the Alien Base.
The one angel that was asking is like, she's kind of like in the fourth dimension of angels, and she wants to be in the gold, and she doesn't know if she can do it.
She's by being in the fourth dimension, you're in the Ruby Order. You're serving the Council of Alcyon, which is the parents of the sun. Beyond the Ruby Order, then you go into the Order of Amethyst, and then you go into the Order of Emerald. Emerald is 12th dimension, And then
all right. Okay.
Oh, that's fascinating.
They're cheering you, but they wanted to know that. Thank you.
That's awesome.
I get the weirdest questions. Sorry.
This last time you went into the 5 orders, and you talked about Ruby, which we hadn't heard, and you brought in Silver, because we knew about Amethyst,
and
Gold, and Emerald. It's fascinating.
This is great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So again, baby angels, star races. How many times have the Pleiadians been around with us, and when did we first connect to and become aware of them?
Well, the Pleiadians are our parent race, and in turn, our great-grandparent race is the Lyrans. So the galactic Lyrans and Pleiadians have seeded this planet many times. We're actually part of the 4th seeding, and this is also known as the final seeding, in which what is known as the 3rd Earth-Granth experiment is coming to completion with the ascension of our species. So the 4th seeding it was supposed to be a success. So we've been associated with the Pleiadians from the beginning of time, because the Pleiadians are, in a way, and the Lyrans are grandparents. They are our parent races. And one of the things that I talked about in Kabbalah Guru is that what distinguished the ancient Israelites, or those that came from the line of Abraham and Sarah, as opposed to the other tribes that existed during those days, is that the Israelites were the continuation of those that carry the highest blood concentration of Pleiadian and Lyran blood, as opposed to the Canaanites, who are contaminated by the Draco blood that came from Babylon.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Great.
So, is there a difference between angelic humans, which you just talked about, the bloodline, and Earthlings, right? So the humans that are evolving up from, you said, one's coming from the way down, they're infusing, or they're involuting.
Anchoring. Yeah, involution, which is disintegrating, yes.
And then there's the evolution end, coming from the other, right? And we meet in the middle somewhere and evolve. So, is there a difference between angelic human beings and Earthlings? And what is it?
The difference is that the angelic human beings are the older souls that have already graduated and completed the entire ascension process. The Earth souls are the newbie souls, the ones that started at the bottom and are just gradually going up in increments. So at the point where the descent of spirit meets the evolution of physical shell, what we call biological bodies, meets when Homo sapiens sapiens were engineered, and that explains our race. We are the final product of that as well.
Okay. All right. Now there's competing opinions. I have 2 people here asking about Elena Danaan and her take on Enki. So, do you want to comment on that at all? Do you know what her position is? She's, saying that Enki was it's opposite, right? Because the tablets were tampered with.
Exactly. So, And you know, the thing is, everything we've been taught is wrong, including the translation of the Sumerian tablets. So everyone's under the spell that Enki was the good guy, and I'm getting a lot of negative feedback because I'm speaking the truth. You know, I'm trying to break people away from the program, right? Because that's still part of the program.
Yes.
But the original Elena Denon was actually murdered and was replaced by a droid. So because Enki did choose to side with the AI god in the Orion, you know, AI timeline. She's pushing the idea that he's good because, in the sense, they want to bring in this AI timeline when Enki makes his appearance, which is now an artificial cyborg. Enki's no longer organic. The original Enki, he was forbidden to go to the outskirts of our universe because the outskirts of the universe was a zone where the AI had already affected many species through these nanites. The nanites are also known as mind eaters, where they literally take over your nervous system and your cerebral and your body, and they just, you know, they overcome you and they eat you from the inside out, and then they make you their host. Well, so that's what ended up happening to Enki. So when he came back, he was already a cyborg. He was no longer organic. And so that's why they've been promoting him as the good guy, because they're really trying to push this AI timeline. So Elena Denon has been compromised. Was murdered.
Thank you.
And was replaced by a droid. So that, and if you guys don't believe me, just watch her latest videos, or all her videos. It's hard for her to express feelings, and she looks very synthetic.
Right.
You know, synthetic.
Because I always get that she's gray. I've never watched her before, but I'm like, she's not bad, she's not good, but she's leaning more bad now, and people don't like me for saying that. So that just confirmed it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, last time we spoke, you talked about the Mormon Church. The original beginning of it was Pleiadian seated, or ideology, maybe Atlantean even. Arcturian, sorry. Okay. So the question is, today, what role, if any, has the Mormon Church had in preparing people for the solar flash and ascension? It's like in a current state, but earlier it was more accurate.
Well, within the teachings of the church, they do talk about the solar flash, but they call it as a great purging that's coming from the sun.
Yeah.
They say that this purging is going to eliminate all the wicked and uplift the righteous, the just, which is correct. That's what the prophecy stated. So that church kept record of the original prophecies.
Okay.
And they're also extensions of the Y-hats, by the way. Yeah. The church was before it was organized in 1832 by Joseph Smith, who was a Freemason. He took a lot of those records that stem from the Knights Templars, and that's how the church was able to inherit everyone's genealogical records going back to thousands of years. And they were entrusted as keepers of the genealogical records from the Cabal, and those are resting within the Rocky Mountains of Utah, safeguarded in a vault, and they're only to be released once the ascension takes place, and that way everyone's going to know who, what tribe they're from, because everybody on this planet is part of one of the 12 tribes of Israel, except those that came from Canaan or Canaanites, which is Babylon, or Cabal families.
Right. Okay. And they actually migrated to Palmyra, New York, and that's where they started the whole Mormon religion in New York State. So that's interesting.
Interesting. Thank you for
right near the Finger Lakes. Interesting.
So the question of blood types isn't even going to matter because we're going to find out who's what, where afterward.
Oh yeah, it's the whole concept of bloodline has been very, very important to the church, because the church knows about the original descendants of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, but they don't talk about it, but they know that it is through their descendants that this new age, or this initiation into the millennium, or the 1,000 years of peace would come about when those descendants rise. And so they kind of always protected who those descendants were, as to why those records have been stored in the Rocky Mountains, safeguarded, without having any. They're incapable of being penetrated.
Right.
They're very secured in vaults that are very locked.
Okay.
Yep.
So the book, and then I want to get into some twin flame questions to get toward the end of this. The book. So there are some languages that are priority translations for you, and then beyond that, hopefully, depending on what happens, when right? So you want to tell us which language is your book? And I know that you have a few editions coming out and new material, and you want to talk about some of that?
Here, I'll just hold up the book.
Sure. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a second edition where I'm actually going to be correcting all the misspellings and all the different grammar mistakes that the editor, the person who I paid to format it in order for it to be accepted by Amazon switched everything around.
Yes.
The original editor had everything corrected, everything right, but the formatter kind of did it in a way where that person twisted it, misscrambled certain words, and in turn it made me look bad. So, I just wanted to point out that book was edited in its original context, but then later it was modified right before it went into publication. And I think that was deliberately done by a person.
It really was.
Right?
Yeah.
It really was. That's what I was told.
Yeah, it really was.
Because it was such dense information, that they wanted to not, how can I say it? They wanted to taint it. They wanted to, corrupt it in a way where a lot of the phrases were misplaced. There was a lot of grammatical
errors. They wanted to create confusion.
Exactly. So I'm going to be doing another edit, and this time before we say yes to the publication, I'm going to actually hire a different formatter who's not a fundamentalist Christian, because the person was a fundamentalist Christian, and I'm sure when she read that manuscript, she said, "Hey, this goes against the Bible. I better mess with it." But again,
but that's not true either. The Bible, so we got that too.
They don't know that. Yeah,
I'm going to add another chapter, which is going to be a segue to the next book.
Perfect.
And that'll be in English, Spanish,
in English in September, and then by the end of the year, hopefully the Spanish translation would be available. And then I'm going to work on getting it into Chinese and then other languages eventually.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're going to go right into Twin Flames now. Would we be meeting or reunited with Twin Flames before, after, during the flash or solar flash, and that pertains to the energy of the connection being able to help the Earth? I think they're asking, aren't they more powerful when they're put together in pairs, and can't they help?
Absolutely, yes, because every twin flame, every starseed that has a twin flame is symbolically representing the union of the cosmic Christ with the cosmic Sophia coming back into balance and integration.
And so there's a 3D kind of a way of looking at that. Monogamy. Is monogamy preferred or disregarded in the higher dimensions?
Monogamy only exists up to the 5th or 6th dimension. Beyond the 6th dimension, as we become a social memory complex, we become part of a collective. At which point, males and females are able to not only just be in one relationship, but to be in multiple relationships, because at that level of reality, they see everyone as one and the same. There is no jealousy. There is no, territory, or this is my territory, and all that mentality is squashed. And so beyond the 6th dimensional level of reality, it's more like a plural, relationships. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And you just, okay. I guess you kind of answered that. Can you explain to the audience why it's important for people to meet up with their twin flames at this time on planet Earth to help raise the vibration?
It'll help not only raise the vibration, but it'll also help bring in the solar flash faster.
Yeah, it brings up the light.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. What can people do to prepare themselves for the reunion with their twin flames?
The best way to do it, just stay celibate and know that the time is coming for you to reunite with your other half. Don't be giving away your sexual energy just to anyone, because for those that wait, even if it happens after the ascension, I guarantee you that you will be reunited with your twin flame. So patience is key here for those that haven't yet found their twin flame. Now be patient, and you will be reunited with your twin flame.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful. Okay, where is your twin flame, and is she also a super soldier in the higher dimensions?
I think so. I think she is. Yeah, she's got to be the opposite of me, or my counterpart.
She is. Yeah. She's like your Wonder Woman. They're showing me Wonder Woman from the 70s. I'm old. I'm sorry. The invisible plane.
I'll take Wonder Woman.
That's awesome.
Linda Carter, Wonder Woman.
Not the new one. Okay. All right. Linda Carter. Are you in communication? This is on a topic of loved ones and guidance. Are you in communication with any of your family members in future Earth or in the future, in the dimensions, do they help you when you need guidance?
I am in constant communication with my Lyran family, and also the Elohim cluster of family known as the Azurites, who work very closely with me.
Thank you. And what advice can you give to people here about meditation and intercommunication with our spiritual guidance teams, ancestors, relatives, angelics, ETs, and all beings heretofore in the unemployment line that you referenced?
I love
Waiting
that.
for us to ask them for help. They haven't been asked enough. What can we do?
Part of using our power is commanding and willing and invoking the help of our spiritual family or our spiritual group that is part of our team, in the other dimension, whether they be spirit guides, ancestors. They're all working together, and they're all waiting for you to invoke them and set the intention for them to do the work for you. That's how powerful we are. Even the archangels are meant to serve us. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. We have how many more minutes with you, Ishmael? I skipped a bunch of questions just to make sure we got.
We have about 18 minutes.
Oh, okay.
We got a few.
We'll go back. Someone had a question about Master Kuan Yin and Chinese origins. Do you have any knowledge of the Chinese heritage there? They said bloodlines, but I think it was a little bit more spiritual than just the bloodlines. About Master Kuan Yin. Okay.
Yeah, Ascended Master Kuan Yin represents the lineage, the angelic lineage that went through China. So the angelic lineage not only came through to us through the Mediterranean or Mesopotamia, but it also went through China and India through Krishna's descendants. So we have the masters of the East, and then we have the masters of the West, the mystics of the West, and the masters of the East that collectively have been guiding and directing the evolution from the higher dimensions, and they are known as the Great White or Light Brotherhood of Sisterhood and Brotherhood. The way, I don't want to call them white because people think it's skin color. The Great Light Brotherhood of both
Yes.
sisters and the Brothers of Sorrow. There you go. That's what they're called.
Yep. That's a great way. Thank you for describing it. It's so hard. People ask me all the time, and I'm like, I can't explain it. So.
And it's in his book. Yeah.
Good.
And he has a course. I'm in the course tomorrow night. They'll be talking in detail about
Galactic history.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to describe the different types of advanced space-age societies, from planetary to cosmic and everything in between.
It's just amazing. So take the course, by the book. And I know a lot of our questions are, related to details that you will find out. Split. Okay. Ascension in the 144,000. Who will these special people be? And will they be twin flames in pairs? Will they be scientists, world teachers, counselors, New Republic lawyers, natural law, whatever they're going to... How is that going to work out? 144,000.
Well, the 144,000 are the core of the Starseed Nations. They are the ascended masters and ladies of light that have embodied once again to help usher in the fifth golden age. So we're all going to find out who they are, but I guarantee you that they are living among us.
Yes.
They are living among us.
Right. They're going to rise. They're going to rise.
Yep.
That's interesting. Okay. Let's see if I have any more here. Ascension health. Okay, Ishmael. What are the heart palpitations about many are experiencing, in your opinion? Is it related to EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies on Earth, radiation, Wi-Fi, etc., or is it related to something else?
I believe it's related to the ascension symptoms because our body is changing at the molecular level, and so sometimes the changes manifest in the form of heart palpitations, back pain, neck pain, migraine headaches, lethargy during the day. You just don't have no energy, you just want to nap. Those are all symptoms that your body's changing. So I wouldn't worry about the EMF waves. Those Wi-Fi towers, they no longer have an effect on us. They only have an effect on 2-strand DNA humans. So, we're already operating with 3 or 4 strands of DNA. Some of us even have the 5th strand already active. Yeah.
Thank you, because they keep showing me adding almost like the strand, and they keep building on it, and I'm like, all right, okay,
They're
So that
knitting.
explains it.
They're
Yes, they are. We're knitting. Here we go.
knitting. Okay. Now someone's asking about light language. Ascension activations and light language. So what does it mean when one is compelled to write down a sequence of symbolic writings? I heard that it is assisting my awakening and DNA activation, and that I don't need to know what it means right now. I have never had the impulse to do this before. That's the person asking the question. So it's part of the activation process.
The name of the light language that is being used across the multiverse is called Kelanta. Kelanta. That's light language. And so when you hear many Arcturians or star people talking about, they talk in this like different language, that's what they're speaking. It's a language that cannot be deciphered by the dark side. It can only be understood by the beings of light.
It's interesting that they'd have them invisible writing that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm working with.
Sorry, that one was above my pay grade. Like, they tell me when they don't want to answer me, they're like, it's above your pay grade. I'm like, all right.
It's not over his.
I know. That's why we were so excited. He had the answer.
Wow. I'm back up into the solar flash again.
Any more on the twin flame thing or no?
I'll go back.
I didn't know if we had a lot on that because I keep getting it in the chat.
Oh, well, I had. I'll go back down there. That I had them. I'm sorry. Okay, monogamy. About twin flames. Well, we talked about them meeting up before or after. Yep. Why it's important for them.
Yep.
Is there something else the angels want to ask him about that?
They just want everybody to know it's like super important. You're gonna find them. It's almost gonna. They keep showing me it's like magnetic. Like you're not gonna be able to resist. It's like magnetic, and then it's a big, huge spark. Like you can't make it up, and you won't even have to question it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So even if they're not like all caught up and they haven't done all the clearing, the energy work, the healing work, no matter what, that's going to
could still happen anyways. Yes.
Regardless.
I get that.
So nobody has to, in terms of preparation, just do what you feel. But it's going to happen when it's the right time.
It's going to happen. Right. Yeah.
Right. Because it's part of a bigger movement. It's the mission. It's the mission.
Chẳng được quên khi cơn mưa đêm lại về. Em đã quên lời thề và ta như đông chìm sâu. Không gần mới em anh nhận màu. Em chỉ cần mơ đâu em bay. Chỉ còn là những cơn mưa vô giá. Cho em mơ em không mơ anh. Anh một đêm mơ. Chỉ cần bên em không được cần nhớ. Và chỉ thôi không muốn nhớ. Và người ta bên nhau như ngã tớ. Muốn nhớ về say em chỉ có mấy em ở đây. Và anh như muốn chết đi nhưng không muốn em mãi mãi. Tình yêu làm cho ta đau đầu. Không em như nằm hâm mộ. Anh như đang mong cầu. Và mưa bên em hôn sầu. Chào các bạn mai em mơ. Chỉ có bên em nhưng là khó mơ. Em ở nơi xa em muốn bên ai. Anh không mong gì hơn. Chỉ mong em sẽ ở đây ôm anh thật gần. Anh chỉ mong đôi ta được có nhau. Mà đừng em đâu anh có em. Một đêm bên anh có em. Ta sẽ trao nhau môi hôn thật sâu. Ôm anh.
life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight, gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight pushing on my chest and it squeezes till I suffocate. Better change my mindset, meditate. It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate. Think I could change my mind, maybe elevate. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. Cause all I want, and I pray, I believe in the better days. I'm kinda stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do I work hard or live at my pace? You're only young once, yeah that's all great, but I also want a future where I'm okay. Living life is doing lots of cocaine. Wait no, it's living with no shame. Wait no, it's sleeping in on Sundays. I guess it's different for each of us and that's okay. Well I just wanna be happy, how to get there? Glad that you asked me. I think it's different for everyone. Some of us need work, others need fun. Some of us need purpose to overcome. But try to do what you love when it's said and done. Cause there's so many differences in each of us. Trust your gut, it can show you what you want. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. determined your fate. I've never seen so clear. I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here. The sound of deafening fear. You don't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. K-O-I-F-E, right in your side. You will never see me coming. You don't die if you try. You just might get a little bit of trouble. K-O-I-F-E, right in your side. You will never see me. My energy is next level, so damn you better be careful. I got an angel and devil, he snaps me straight in the temple. I'm ready to be a rebel. I've got a lot of potential hidden inside of this vessel. That shit is so exponential. I need a first class ticket to the top, no limit. I don't play no gimmicks. I'ma take you to the clinic. If you want a taste, come at me and you will be replaced. They won't find a trace of you